All right, hello everyone. Before I get started, I just want to address one technical thing that I believe, based on feedback, is happening at the beginning of our practice. And that is, and you can, if you have this experience, you can type in the chat, yes, I see that, yes, I don't, but I just wanted to address it right here. That it seems like when I start the video for you all at Cambia, that sometimes there's a delay in my video starting to propagate for you. I'm not sure if that's true for everyone, but it seems like some of you will jump into this and not see me, but maybe you can hear me for the first 5 minutes or so. So if that's you and you're not getting video at all, I'd like it if you could just raise your hand or type in the chat that that's something that is happening. If you don't care, hopefully my instructions are clear enough that you can follow along without seeing exactly what I'm doing. That's great too. But I just wanted to know if anyone's having that experience. And I'm not seeing any feedback here in the chat or the questions, so I'm guessing that it's a non-issue. Anyways, let's get started seated. And as always, I recommend elevating your sits bones if sitting on the floor is challenging. For most of us in this modern day and age, it is, because we were used to sitting in chairs, and range of motion in hip flexors starts to get shorter and back muscles start to get weaker. So that's one of the reasons why I like what we've been focusing on this month, strengthening the muscles along the posterior chain, the back body, because it allows you to sit up nice and tall, utilizing the muscles, strengthening those muscles that are weak, but also tight. Weak muscles can also be tight muscles, okay? So if you can sit cross-legged, and you can let your cross-legged seat be comfortable, start off with intentionally putting your right shin in front of your left shin. Okay, so right shin in front of left shin, or right foot forward and left foot closer to the groin. I don't care if your ankles are aligned or not. I don't care how wide your knees are. Just let yourself sit cross-legged. Let's take the hands to the thighs, shift your hips or shoulders back over the hips. Take a deep breath in, see if you can get a little bit taller through the spine. And just notice, as you start to think about getting longer through the spine, what happens in the core. Now I'm talking about the core, anterior, front of body, side body, posterior. The core wraps around your whole torso. It's not just the six-pack abs. So think about, where do I feel this in my core? Do I feel this sensation in my back, side, waist, and front of stomach? If you'd like to here, you can close your eyes. Just start to tune into the sensation in the body. Physical sensation. Let's notice that first. One of the reasons why asana is such a popularized practice in the West is because we can physically connect with our bodies so much easier than the emotional and the energetic body. It's a gross to a subtle movement. Gross meaning like it's tangible, I can touch it, I can feel it, I can see it, I get immediate feedback. And then I can start to move inward towards the energetics, towards the subtle body. And that doesn't happen right away. Well, so let's just stay here and breathe. A few breaths in and out through the nose. See if you can start to get your breath moving a little bit slower and deeper. And can you relax your shoulders a little bit more down your back, broaden across the collarbone. Relax the back of the neck and the throat. One more breath here. And then we'll blink the eyes open, and you're going to stay in your seat, but I'm going to see if you can make one modification. Can you get this right shin. I'm not mirroring you today. So right shin, right leg, maybe right knee on top of left leg. So it might look really loose, right? Or it might be that the knees are getting closer and closer to being stacked. And this is hard for me to do because where do I feel the sensation? Outer right hip. It's pretty tight over there. Okay, so eventually knees move closer to being in a stacked position, right knee on top of left knee. And yours might look a little bit looser, like maybe it's still, you're working in that cross-legged seat. It's okay, it's okay. Okay. So we're gonna rotate now. Right fingertips behind you, rotating the torso towards your right hip. And then again, I want you to think about growing tall through the spine, tall through the spine. What muscles do you need to engage to rotate and grow tall? Can you find your breath here? Inhale, exhale. 2 more breaths here. So where do you feel this? In the back, on the side of the waist, in the front, or maybe all of those places, which is ideal because that means your body is working as a system as it should. Body is a system. Let's unwind. Now uncross the legs, okay? So now left shin, left foot in front of right shin, right foot. So you're coming back to this easy cross-legged seat. I say easy as if it were easy for everyone. For some of us, it's really hard to sit like this. This is why, again, I recommend propping your sits bones. Eventually, the knees will start to relax below the line of the hip. They might start out in line with the hips, and that's okay. Let's take a few deep breaths here, growing tall through the spine. Again, noticing core, front, sides, back. What muscles do you need to engage to grow tall through the spine? Deep breath in and out through the nose. Two more breaths here. And then we'll add that, see if we can get the knees a little bit closer together, maybe more towards that stacked position, this left shin, left knee. See if you can get it somewhere over the top of the right leg. Maybe the knees eventually work their way towards being stacked vertical, like a spine. We have a lot of spines in our bodies, not just the central axis of the spine, but anatomically speaking, a lot of bones have that name. It's just a ridge, basically. So you're creating a ridge with the knees here. Okay, and now we'll add, once we've got our legs in a position. I found this on the web. Oh, Siri's trying to talk to us too. She wants to teach as well. Okay, let's rotate to the left. So left fingertips behind you. Can you press the fingertips into the floor behind you? Right hand can be on that top leg. Again, I want you to think about growing tall through the spine as you rotate. And notice what muscles you're engaging in your core to find that rotation and to find the length. Can you find your breath here? Now, I'm not looking for you to name or know your anatomical muscles around the spine, but I feel this in my back body. I feel this in the side of my waist. I feel this in my front core. Where do you feel it? Just locate it in your body. One more breath here. And then we'll unwind. All right, let's unravel the legs. And we'll set up for our first downward facing dog. Remember, you can always modify your down dog if anything's happening in the wrist or shoulders or elbows that doesn't allow you to bear weight. You can always take the knees to the mat or take child's pose. If you're coming with me into downward facing dog, spread those fingers wide, root through the fingertips themselves. See if you can roll a little bit more weight to the inner edge of the hand. And then relax your head between your biceps. Relax your head, relax your head. Start to bend right and left through the knees. And as you're doing this, bending right and left through the knees, notice the sensation in the lower leg. Okay, where do you feel tension in the lower leg? Do you feel it along the calf muscle, the back of the lower leg? Do you feel it towards the front of the ankle? Do you feel it towards the outer shin muscles? We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we move into next month's series, but I just want you to start to notice right now, where do you feel tension in your lower legs in downward facing dog? Let's take one more breath here. From downward facing dog, shift forward, step your right foot forward, left knee to the mat. Right foot forward, left knee to the mat. We did this a little bit last week. I want to revisit it here. Okay, so we're going to find that really deep low lunge. I want you to see if you can shift your front knee forward of your toes. Front knee forward of your toes. So that means my thigh, my right thigh is trying to get to the back of my calf. Now take some weight into your left hand and place your right knee on top of your right thigh. Weight into your left hand, right knee on top of that thigh. And again, notice where you feel tension in the right lower leg. Is it on the back of the leg? Is it in the front of the ankle? Maybe all you're really feeling is the front of that left hip flexor, and that's really normal too. I feel it there a lot. Been running a lot lately, and whoo, quads are tight. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then let's step back to downward facing dog. And settle into your down dog, find your breath. In and out through the nose if you can. Root through those hands, stay strong through the palms. So the hands are really active in down dog. Same with the feet. So whatever's in contact with the floor, press the floor away. Let's take one more breath here, relax your head. And we'll shift forward, step left foot forward. Shift forward, step left foot forward, right knee to the mat. And now, okay, we're trying to lean forward in our left foot without lifting that left heel off the mat. So it's almost like the left heel, you're trying to get to that point where the left heel, if it starts to lift, you've gone too far, but it's starting to feel like, oh, if I go any further, that left heel has to lift up. So back of the left thigh is starting to shift towards that front calf. Take some weight into your right hand, left hand to the left thigh. And then notice on this side, where do I feel tension? Maybe it's the right hip flexor, quad. And maybe it's somewhere around the left lower leg, the ankle bone, the Achilles tendon, the calf, the sole of the foot. Where do you feel tension? Let's take one more breath here. Left hand back to the mat, downward facing dog. Now we're going to start to move more towards, for those of you that are like, where's my vinyasa flow? Yes, it's coming. It's coming. 2 breaths here in down dog. One more time into our lunge. Right foot steps forward, right foot steps forward. Left knee to the mat. Weight into your left hand. Right arm reaches for the ceiling. So now finding that rotation in the spine. Left palm actively pressing the floor away as the right arm reaches up towards that ceiling. Keep pressing down through your right foot. Take one more breath here. And then replant the right palm, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Left foot steps forward, right knee to the mat. Keep the right palm planted or the fingertips rooted. Keep pressing the floor away with that right hand as you rotate torso towards your left thigh and reach the left arm high. Find your breath here, inhale. Stay for your exhale. And then replant the left palm, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. One more breath here, downward facing dog. Shift forward, high plank. Pause in your high plank, shift forward to your tippy toes. Feel your inner thighs squeeze towards one another. They might not touch. That's okay, not the point. Shift forward onto those tippy toes. Bend the elbows, lower all the way to the belly. Now, bring your left elbow forward like Sphinx. Bend your right knee, reach back, grab your outer right ankle. Roll that right hip forward and down. Kick the right foot into the hand. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Now we'll change sides. Release that right leg, right elbow, forearm in Sphinx. Bend the left knee, reach back with left hand, grab the outer left ankle. Kick the foot into the hand. Roll that left hip forward and down. You're just looking forward here, nice and long through the neck. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Release that left hand forward. Now you're in Sphinx. Press the floor away. Inhale, pull the heart forward. And then on your exhale, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes, pressing up and back. High plank, downward facing dog. Settle into your down dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's lift those heels, little bend in the knees, and make your way forward to the top of your mat. First forward fold here, Uttanasana, forward fold. Shift the weight forward into the ball mounds of the feet a little bit and grip the toes into the mat. Relax your head here. And then shift the weight back into the heel bones and pull the toes up towards your face. Pull the toes up towards your face. Weight into the heel bones. And then relax the toes and see if you can find center in the feet. Press down through the feet, fingertips walk up to the shins, inhaling to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Each time you come to your halfway lift, I want you to think about engaging the muscles along your spine, your back body, as well as the front core to make this lift happen. So this is a back bend. Your halfway lift is a back bend. Exhale, forward fold. One more time into that halfway lift, deep breath in. Shoulders down the back, squeeze the muscles around your back. If you can't feel that quite yet, don't worry. It takes a while to figure out how to engage those muscles. But that's what this spine strengthening series is for. Let's inhale this time, stretch the arms forward and up, come all the way up to standing. Arms reach overhead. And then exhale, just relax the arms alongside the body. Pause here, breathe in, grow tall. Breathe out. And we'll start to put our vinyasa into more of a flow. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step into high plank. High plank. All right, back into high plank. Pause, breathe in, shift forward onto those toes. Engage the thigh muscles. Start to bend your elbows lower all the way to the belly. Left elbow, forearm forward, right knee bends, reach back with your right hand, grab the outer ankle. Turn the torso and hip forward, kick the foot into the hand. Big breath in, big breath out. Release that right side, switch to your second side. So the weight's resting on right elbow and forearm. Reach back, left hand grabs the outer left ankle. Kick the foot into the hand, turn the left shoulder and hip forward, big breath in. Big breath out. Release that left elbow, come to Sphinx. Inhale here, Sphinx pose. Exhale, tuck your toes, keep your elbows and forearms as they are. Tuck your toes, just lift the pelvis up, come to the knees. You're just lifting the pelvis up, you're still on your knees. Now, what part of the core has to engage to make that happen? Stay right there or lift the knees up, forearm plank. Big breath in, big breath out. Now, option here to walk up to the hands to high plank. You can always set those knees down and meet us in downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is your next shape. 2 breaths here. Inhale, right foot, step it forward, left knee to the mat. Stay rooted through your left hand, press the floor away with your left hand as you reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Option to stay here or tuck those back toes and lift the back knee. Big breath in. And then breath out, plant the palm. Step back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Both palms rooted, pressing the floor away, staying active through the feet and the hands. One more deep breath in here. And then simply stepping the left foot forward. As the left foot steps forward, just take a moment, lower the right knee, shift the weight forward in the hips a little bit, stay posted and rooted through your right palm as you lift your left arm towards the ceiling. Little rotation in the spine, option to stay here or tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Left palm releases, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths. Lift those heels, a little bend in those knees. Start to make your way forward to the top of the mat. When you get there right away into your back bend, this is your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Now this is a back bend because you're utilizing the muscles around the spine to lift your torso halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Root down through your whole foot, sweep the arms forward and up, come all the way to standing. And then relax the arms alongside the body. Full breath cycle here. I'm going to move through that flow one more time, a little bit more breath to movement, with the option to take Dhanurasana bow pose when we come down to the belly. And so you'll have 2 options for that. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the palms, step back to high plank. Now pause in your high plank for a moment, get strong through the quads, the thighs, shift forward onto your toes, nice and slow, lower to the belly, with or without the support of the knees. And then come forward into your Sphinx. Now you know how to do this one side at a time. Feel free to do that right side first and then switch to the left side. If you would like to take full Dhanurasana, reach the right hand back, grab a hold of the ankle, roll that shoulder forward. Your rib cage is going to come down. Most of your belly is going to come down as you bend your left knee and reach back for the outer left ankle. So now both hands maybe are holding both ankles. Once you've got that, kick the feet into the hands. So your legs have to be active here. Legs have to be active. If you're doing one side at a time, switch sides. If you're with me, both hands binding both outer ankles. See if you can get a little bit more thigh off the mat, a little bit more rib cage off the mat, toes pointing up towards the ceiling, active through your feet. And then everyone release. If you're doing that second side, release that as well. Come back to Sphinx. Big breath in Sphinx, also a back bend. If you'd like, tuck those toes, press into the knees, lift the pelvis, stay there, or lift the knees, find that forearm plank. Let's take one full breath here. And then if you want to step the hands to high plank, you can. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Remember that transition is optional. You can also set the knees down and take a child's pose. Last time in downward facing dog, 2 breaths here. Okay, we'll shift forward, come to the knees, and make our way onto our backs. As you come all the way down to your back, you can bend your knees and plant your feet. Just get a sense of the spine lengthening out on the mat. Big breath in, big breath out. Begin to hug your right knee in towards your chest. Extend your left leg long. So back of the left calf on the mat, pulling the right knee in towards the chest. Deep breath here. Notice where you feel sensation around the right hip. Now, does it feel kind of pinchy towards the front of the hip flexor, or does it feel like more of a stretch towards the glute and the hamstring, or somewhere along the lateral side of the body, which lateral is outside of the body? Let's extend the right arm off to the right and keep the right shoulder grounded. Start to pull the knee towards the left side. Roll all the way onto your left hip. Come into a twist. If that right elbow starts to pop up off the ground, roll back to the right shoulder and slide a prop underneath the inner right thigh, knee, or ankle. Okay, so that could be a pillow, it could be a stack of blankets, whatever you need to keep the shoulders grounded, chest broad, rotating towards your left hip. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Start to unwind. One more time, right knee, hug it back in towards the chest. This time I want you to take your hands behind the right thigh and press the right foot up towards the ceiling. It's like you're making a little stirrup with the hands around the back of the leg. Let the thigh bone rest heavy into the hands. Flex the toes towards the face. See if you can keep the leg as it is and extend the arms out wide and slowly lower the right leg to meet the left leg. Pause here, deep breath in, deep breath out. Left knee, hug it into the chest. You can interlace your hands over the top of that left shin, pull it in close towards the rib cage and the belly. Right leg is long, left knee is hugging in. Keep your right hand wrapped around the shin as you extend your left arm out to the side. Stay glued to the floor with your left shoulder. You're going to start to pull that left knee across towards the right hip, rolling onto your right hip and sliding a prop underneath the inner left knee if needed. Seeing if you can keep your shoulders rooted. Two deep breaths here. As we unwind out of this twist, we're going to come back to the back, hugging the left knee into the chest one more time, but making a little stirrup with the hands around the back of the thigh, and then kicking that left foot up towards the ceiling. Let the thigh bone be heavy in the stirrup of the hands. Flex the toes towards the face. So it's like you're trying to get your heel bone towards the ceiling. Keep the leg as it is, extend the arms out wide, and slowly lower the left leg to meet the right leg. Adjust your shoulders so they slide down the back. Adjust your heel bones so they're a little bit further away from the midline of the body. And start to settle into your Shavasana. If you want to add any props, feel free. We'll take 1 minute here just to rest, do nothing, let it go. Eyes closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Soften the jaw, relax the teeth, the gums, the lips. Can you soften all the muscles of the face? Please feel free to stay in Shavasana if you have the time. I recommend it. You need to move on with your day, start to awaken the body, adding movement to fingertips and toes. If you'd like to, you can stretch the arms overhead, breathing into the length of the body. And then exhaling, rolling off to a side. And make your way to an upright seat. We'll just take a few moments to close out our practice. It could be the same seat you started in. Let it be comfortable, let it be supported. Can you grow tall through your spine? Maybe the eyes are closed or the gaze is soft. As you're breathing here in and out through the nose, place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. And just feel yourself breathing into your hands. The hand that's on the belly stacks flat against the hand that's on the heart, and the chin bows into the chest. Taking a moment here to honor your effort and your practice with reverence and gratitude. May you use the fruits of this practice to serve your highest good. May you share it with those around you that you love and who could use healing. May we all remember to send love and healing to all sentient beings around the world. May they be happy. May they be free. Namaste, yogis. All right, everyone, that's your practice for the day. Next week, we'll start on a new area of focus. I gave you a little spoiler alert today. If you have any questions, of course, please let me know. And hope you take care of yourselves and come back again soon.